So, I think mostly our concerns are how will it work in our part of the county, because that's how we have to sell it to the people here who would support it, and what we can do to move it forward. But also along with that is obviously in Gaithersburg there are right-of-way issues, and so I'm wondering, does that cost include money for right-of-way, or is that something that'll have to be added in or worked around, or has that been looked at? Once you start getting down to, just, I understand at this point these are hypothetical or, conceptual lines, let me put it that way. But once you start getting down to where do we actually do that, then these more concrete details pop up.
We would like to think that the lines are not conceptual. We would like to think that our view about what might be going in these corridors is still at the concept level.
Okay.
And so there is an allowance in this budget for right-of-way. The fact is, until the Planning Board and Council have adopted amendments to the Master Plan of Highways and Transitways, now pending and under study, we will not know exactly what kind of right-of-way we have to work with, and whether it will be necessary to expand the right-of-way through right-of-way acquisition. There are, in addition to the options that I showed you for configuration and a bunch of other options, there is the repurposing of existing lanes, taking lanes away from cars and giving them to these vehicles. There are those who support that idea, and there are those whose breath is shortened by the very thought of it. It will be the solution on some segments of the system, particularly in those segments where there are the greatest constraints, in the more mature areas. I mean, the irony of this is that those are the areas that need this the most, and yet they are in many ways the most constrained. So we will have to use a great deal of imagination in the planning of this, and to some extent, part of this process is going to be the persuading people that the capacity that this has the ability to create is so extraordinary, just on a mathematical basis, that it's worth making those decisions.